Being close to 60 years old, I felt that I have to confirm to myself that AI has effectively ended my career of over 30 years as a professional photographer. Later in this episode, I will demonstrate a sample of what I mean. You little monkey. Who's my monkey? Are you joining me in the video? Are you going to join me in the video? In this video, I want to prove to myself that AI has effectively ended my business. I've been a photographer for over 30 years. The last year has been quite a struggle, and I didn't really understand why. Going back a few years, we had that period of time when the government stopped everybody from working, and that was a difficult time. No work whatsoever, no income. Now, after that, I thought I could try and build my photography business back up, and it was a struggle, and I didn't really understand why. I've never really been into social media as such. I wasn't really on Facebook. I didn't pay much attention to anything. So after that period, I just tried to rebuild my business. I had no staff anymore because during that period I had to let my staff go, and they'd since moved on to other things. As the period ended, they moved into other lines of work. So it was like starting my whole business from scratch again, but I thought, I've done it once, I can do it again. Now, I didn't really understand what was happening in the background. I didn't understand, how AI was really beginning to take off. I wasn't paying much attention to social media or even YouTube or anything. I was still living in my old Analogue world. I've always been interested in photography and tech magazines, computer magazines, so each month I'd get a big collection of magazines, study them avidly, see what the latest tech was, and so I was a big follower of the digital age when that started appearing. When the first cameras appeared with, like about 0.5 megapixel images that was about this big, if you printed them any bigger than a stamp, it would all look pixelated. But it was interesting to see, and I often wondered if they could ever get to the standards of a 35mm film frame, for example. At the time, it was widely accepted that to get the same kind of image quality from a digital image, you'd need about 50 megapixels, which at the time was quite a good estimation because it sort of panned out to be something like that. So in order to create a small poster from a 35mm frame, to do it with a digital version, you'd need about 50 megapixels. So it was a good rule of thumb at that time. And we always wondered if it would ever happen. And of course, over the fullness of time, cameras started getting better, pixel counts getting bigger, and as it went along, I adapted very early with it. I was getting the first cameras, the first video cameras that came out as well. So I followed the digital trend, and then obviously moved into digital. So as digital took over, my analog cameras, my film cameras were, left gathering dust, and I moved with the digital world. And this was fine for many years. But as I mentioned before, there came that period when the government said to you, no, you can't work for the next couple of years. There's all the stuff happening at the moment, so just stay at home for a few years, and we'll let you know when you can get back to work. I really thought that once that sort of government, holiday was over, I'd be able to get back into business, I'd started once and I can get back into it again. I was quite confident, and I didn't know because I've never really followed social media much. So during that 2-year holiday, I missed a lot. I was always amazed by all these people with all these masks on, which had funny designs and things, and I thought, well, that's clever, wonder where they came from. If I'd been paying attention to social media at the time, I would have understood what was happening, of course, print on demand, all them many years ago. So I just completely missed how technology was changing during that long holiday we had. And I just spent time with my dog, going for walks and things. Also being asked why I'm out walking and when I should be relaxing at home, but that's another story. And so I missed the boat completely. And when I tried to get back into business, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't realise that people were requiring photography less and less. And after about a year, I was quite confused, and I started watching YouTube, and then it hit me all at once. I'd heard of AI, but not really paid much attention to it, but I hadn't realised just how far it had come and what it was capable of. And it just hit me like that. That's why I'm not getting work. Why would people pay for photographers to sell their products in their AI print-on-demand stores when everything can be done by AI and prompts? So all of a sudden I was in, oh my God, I've got to catch up pretty quickly now. So I have realised that I'm not going to push it anymore. I've realised that my career as it was is no longer. I need to pivot, I need to find something else to do. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube, I mean a lot. I started watching these YouTube channels in the hope that I might be able to gain some knowledge, some inspiration, and help try and find a new career path, something else I can do. The main reason I'm actually recording it and creating my own YouTube channel is because one of the things I did learn from watching these YouTube channels is make your own YouTube channel. And I have got some equipment that I've built up over the years, and I really do like using this equipment, but I've had no work for over a year, and I just thought that, well, apart from creating a YouTube channel, because on YouTube it says create YouTube channel, I figure that it's a good way to make use of my equipment. Also, I can probably look into an acting career, learn how to be on the other side of the camera. I've spent years filming people, years photographing people, but I've never been in front of the camera myself, which explains why this is a bit crap, but I hope to improve as I go along. So my intention isn't really to make money. I don't actually believe in all of these get rich quick schemes, build a YouTube channel and you'll go viral and you'll make a load of money. I don't believe that for 1 second. But I think that by doing this, it can help me develop, learn something else, learn to be creative in a different way. And I figure if I record my progress as I go along, sometime in the future I'll be able to look back at it and think, I can cringe and look back and just hope that I've improved somewhat, hope that I've learnt something different. This new AI world it's very, very different from the analogue world that I grew up in, and I miss the 80s and 90s. Things seemed a lot simpler then. What do you think? Yeah, it's a bit of a burden, isn't it, eh? In some sense, it was actually refreshing to figure out and to know what had caused the failure of my business, because after 30 years of a successful business, all of a sudden it fall off a cliff and there be nothing, I was quite depressed. I didn't understand it. But when I started watching YouTube, everything just fell into place. the fact that AI has just come along like this has blown my mind. I mean, what is out there is incredible, and I don't want to moan and complain about it. I want to adapt to it. I just need to try and find out what I can do. Well, we need to find out sooner than later, so we can keep old Fatso full, eh? We just need to figure out what's next. So I do intend to watch more gurus on YouTube and see if I can figure out what I can do. But what I have done, or what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do two experiments, just to prove to myself and verify what I've learnt. Verify the fact that photography, not for every photographer, I mean there are some photographers in specialist works, or obviously some who've got bigger infrastructures that can weather this, but on the whole, for a lot of photographers doing stuff like I do, portraits, some fashion and product work, I think that is going to be a big struggle for a lot of us now. And maybe if you're a photographer, maybe if you've found a way forward, you might like to let me know. I'm old now, so I don't really need to make a lot. We just need to make enough to feed ourselves and pay the bills, that's all. But I am going to find it interesting to figure out what we can do. And yeah, just watch my following tests where I prove to myself how redundant I've become. I've got a couple of average clients. These are the teddy bear clients, and they've demanded a portrait in the kitchen. Yep, there you go. That's the portrait done. Oh bloody hell, that's a bollocks. What happened there then? Our teddy bear clients are posing. No, look this way, that's right. And you, both look this way. They're ignorant buggers, they're just completely looking forward. It's almost as if they're trying to deliberately wreck this portrait session for me. Smile. Let's have a look at that. Yes, that's quite a nice photo. Let me see what the clients think. What do you think of that then? Eh? Is it any good? Well, they're not too happy. I think they say that the background is a little bit flat and they want it boosting up a little bit. So, looks like we'll have to add another light. This is the second light I put in the kitchen to control the background lighting, and it can be independently controlled from the main light, so we can adjust it to alter how the background appears in this scene. It's not always easy to please such awkward clients. Let's have a look. Here we go. Look this way. Okay, don't bother looking this way. Just look straight forwards as you seem to keep doing. Pay no attention to me whatsoever. There you go. See what that looks like. Right, so there's a big lift to the background now. It really stands out, it pops. Let me see what you think of that. What do you think of that then? Yeah, it's alright, isn't it? What? You want even more pop? You want it to be high key? Okay, let's see what we can do for you. Ugh, awkward customers for sure. Let's have a look. So we'll double the power from the backlight, and then we'll take another portrait shot of the teddy bear family. Okay. It's always a challenge dealing with difficult clients like the teddy bears, but at the end of the day it's great to be able to get the job done, and I think that the nicest thing about any kind of work is when it's appreciated by the customer. That's always the best thing for me. It's nice to get paid as well. At the end of the shoot, I took an image using my mobile phone. It created quite a nice picture actually. The subjects were lit nicely, and that's because there's a skylight in that room, so they were lit nicely, but the background is quite dark. So I went online and I simply put this image into AI, and all I wrote was, please make the background stand out nicely in this image. And after a few seconds, this is what it came back with. I then decided to ask it to increase the brightness of the background, and it came back with this. Now these were just very basic, simple prompts, but just look what it has done within seconds. And to top it off, I just said, please change your background completely. And here's the result. How can I compete with that?